Hello, I really want to welcome you to this space. Thank you so much for joining. So today I'm going to talk about not fighting the system. So don't fight the system. Instead, create a new one. It's clear that there are many problems, especially and certainly in the Western world and in many other places too. There's a sense of things being really fragmenting, falling apart. There's just so much corruption, manipulation, and abuse, even on a societal, social level. Things have to change. The message today, though, is to avoid fighting the system or fighting within it, despite its deep corruption. I believe that fighting to change it won't work. Instead, we need to create new systems, basically, just create something completely new. I believe very strongly that we're moving into a new era, and this is a new way of being. Part of this entails the falling away of the old, and the old can just no longer function. It's literally fragmenting, and that's why we see so much chaos. It's just craziness, it's chaos, it's one thing after another. And it's also a spiritual shift too, in my opinion. So all spiritual traditions have names for and concepts for this transition, for moving into a better reality, a better way of being. And they all make reference to this one way or another. Now, the specific ideas and the details are going to differ depending on the type of belief, but they all make reference to this change. Now, we could call it a new earth, the world to come, a new Eden, and much more. While the details are different depending on the belief, they all share a common thread, that we're heading into a better way of being, a new reality, a shift basically. So while there are many different pathways to this new earth, at the moment it looks like chaos, and that's part of the old system falling away or falling apart. I believe that it is possible for the shift to be peaceful, but this really depends on human beings as a collective. So the way in which this transition will happen does depend overall on human beings. So there is actually a great revelation that's happening right now. Things can no longer be hidden. That's why all the lies, the corruption and the abuse are all coming up to the surface. And this can be very, very difficult. More and more people are becoming aware of what the governments are doing and how, for example, the financial systems operate not in such a great way, and the existence of groups, including various financial elites that are operating in ways that just don't serve the community and don't benefit humanity overall. And this truth is coming out. I think it's part of the shift. It's all surfacing. It's almost as if all the all of the negativity, all the stuff that has been hidden can't be hidden anymore, and it's coming up, and it's just not such a pretty sight. Now, there are some emerging communities, both online and locally, that really wish for change and are driving the change. So there are various truth communities, freedom communities, and spiritual people, and just regular folk who really wish to see change and to create a new life, a new way of being. I'm sure that you also would like to see this change. Whilst this is all extremely positive, there can be a tendency for people to react, and this is understandable. Of course, good people want to see positive change. The problem really lies in getting caught up in things, partly in trying to reveal the truth about the corruption and the darkness and the lies, etc., and also fighting the government and the authorities and just fighting all of the different establishments that are there from within. Whilst it's truly a worthwhile endeavour, and to understand things, going down rabbit holes though can be a real distraction. And then reacting by fighting and really trying so hard to change what is existing is also a huge energy drain. Now, I don't believe, in my humble opinion, that this will actually work. I think the alternative is so much better. And the key is, don't fight, instead create the new. This is really a powerful message, and I think it's just a very productive principle in any case. So regarding the information and the revelation of what is really going on, even if it were possible to get that full exposure, that disclosure, the conventional legacy media are not going to discuss any of it. So fighting for this is unlikely to work. Going down rabbit holes to work out every detail and see all the darkness down there doesn't really serve anybody. It's enough just to gain a general understanding without all the gory details and the endless distractions. What this is good for, the information gathering, is for gaining understanding in order to know how to change and which direction to take. But getting caught up in there and going deeper and deeper wastes your life force, energy, your time. Once basic knowledge is gained, we can go out and create and build something really positive, something new. When it comes to the required change, we do need to work hard for this, but not through fighting within the existing systems. I don't believe it's even possible to really fight or overturn something that's embedded so deeply it's just too heavy. We also know historically that this hasn't worked too well. So even when there were revolutions, for example, in the extreme of overturning an existing system or government or enterprise, even when that has been successful, the result, the outcome down the line, was not necessarily such dramatic change, even if the intention was extremely positive. So again, we come back to the fact that there's tremendous corruption and control. This is true at the level of governments, at the level of industries, big industries, large corporations, and in particular the weapons and the war industry, for example. It's also true within entertainment and the media. I think that it's really important to say that as well. The financial system, the banking industries, again, not acting in the best way in the interest of the community and of human beings, the wider community. Now, the traditional ways of demonstrations, rallies, lobbying and pressure groups are unlikely to have a very big and lasting effect. Again, all these can be good and they really are novel. All these can be good and they truly are noble endeavours. The positive outcome of these is creating unity. It's in the meeting of like-minded people and networking. So it is positive, and in the spirit of this action, good outcomes can come. But the problem is, though, that these demonstrations, rallying, lobbying, pressure groups are not going to have very much direct impact, in the sense that the governments are no longer listening to the people. We are just being bypassed. And that's true of the democracies too. There's very little difference between the parties in terms of real change and affecting real change. The elites and big industries also aren't going to pay attention. They've just managed to garner far too much power, and of course it's the finances, it's the money. I feel that the regular people, we're just being bypassed and ignored. And there's little that we can do about it, in the sense of, again, voting for different parties and so on. I'm not saying there isn't some change and some difference, but really fighting within and making huge efforts within the conventional existing systems are likely to have little, true consequence. Now, our energy, your energy, collectively, our energy is so important and can be put to good use, to helping others, to serving the community, to helping your family, and of course yourself. Trying to change an existing, deeply embedded, deeply rooted system which has been around for hundreds, if not more years, and is so ingrained and so reluctant to shift, is a huge energy expenditure with very little true change. Also, overthrowing it can create a great deal of harm, and we've seen this with past overthrowings and revolutions which have created a tremendous amount of harm along the way. So the method, I believe, is to stop draining and wasting our time and energy. We need to go out and start to create something new. Even doing this in small ways and joining with other like-minded people to do this is profoundly powerful. This is where the transformation is. It's using our energy and creativity in a positive and productive way, rather than wasting it in trying to fight, change, or overturn something that doesn't wish to be moved. And so I believe that is not the way, or we can't win that way. Bypassing the people and the authorities who won't listen anyway and not listening to us is the way forward. It is peaceful and it works. So don't fight, just create. Go out and create the new, the positive and the good.